It is time we had democratic socialism for working families, not just for Wall Street, billionaires, and large corporations.
Bernie Sanders. Who is he? What does he stand for? And what made him such a controversial pick in this past election? Bernie Sanders started as a small candidate from Vermont and ended up taking on Hillary Clinton for the Democratic Party's nomination for the November 2016 election. This past year in UNH's Media Politics course, a content analysis was conducted to follow what trends surrounded Bernie Sanders, as well as how the coverage changed over the course of the election. For this content analysis, articles spanned from April of 2015, when Bernie Sanders announced that he would be running for President of the United States, all the way to following the Democratic National Convention. Not only did looking at sources over this long period of time give a sense of how political views changed, but it could also be seen how different sources' opinions changed following Sanders' run as a candidate. 30 articles in total were collected, 10 from each source, with the sources being CNN, Fox News, and the Huffington Post. The first main findings came in regards to the coverage of Sanders over the course of the election. Being such a polarizing race, it was no surprise that the coverage was almost split evenly between positive and negative. A small portion of the articles were deemed neutral, and only a few were determined to be unclear. As for Sanders supporters, half of the articles collected directly spoke about them, most being neutral with some positive and negative as well. After looking at the coverage of Sanders pre- and post-DNC, or Democratic National Convention, it was clear that the coverage was more positive as a whole following Sanders' endorsement of Hillary Clinton for president. While a 2.6% difference may seem small, when on a large scale across all media outlets, that is a large swing. Now, here's the main thing.
Wolf, it's Moody. I think we really need to start learning about democratic socialism. What do you think about me going to Denmark?
All right, Moody, just you do you. Go ahead.
You call yourself a democratic socialist. How can any kind of socialist win a general election in the United States?
Bernie says he's a democratic socialist. What does that mean?
I definitely think that it's not as terrifying as everybody thinks it is.
When socialism is brought up, many people instantly go into defense mode. While many people have tried to unveil what Sanders means, no one has a better idea than the man himself. Here's Bernie deciphering the meaning across multiple platforms.
What democratic socialism is about is having a government which reflects the interest of ordinary people rather than is currently the case of the billionaire class.
Talk about democratic socialism, you know what I'm talking about? Social Security. One of the most popular and important programs in this country, developed by FDR to give dignity and security to seniors. And it has been enormously successful in reducing poverty among seniors.
While this analysis didn't look at the pros and cons of socialism in government, it did look into the ways that the term was used in the media. In articles with the term socialism, the positive or negative lexical usage was measured. Following the DNC, there was no negative lexical usage for the term socialism in over 80% of the articles collected. Why does it matter? Political parties are at a crossroad and going through change. With two political outsiders running in the major parties this election, we can see that the majority of views and issues may shift. With Sanders gaining so much attention, he has the power to drive the Democratic Party in a new direction and shape it for the foreseeable future.